Well, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome back to another installment of Late Night with Uncle Fran. A bunch of you wrote me this week asking for tips on different kinds of etiquette on your day-to-day basis. And, well, what am I here for but to teach you children some manners? So, we're going to jump right into the letters this week. Okay. First off this week, we have a letter from a young girl named Rebecca, age 40, from Long Island. She writes, "Dear Uncle Fran, I am chronically late to everything I do. How can I improve on this?" Signed, Rebecca. Well, hello, little Rebecca. You know something? There is no better way to show your friends you couldn't care less about them than showing up late to events that they plan. Every minute that you are there later than you are supposed to be is a slap in the face to them, and they probably hate you. That is why I show up to everything I'm supposed to 5 hours early, Rebecca. I know, you're probably thinking to yourself, that seems like overkill, Uncle Fran, but it certainly is not. Be it my nephew's baptism or a surprise birthday party, I'm always there 5 hours in advance. Sure, is it a little odd to sneak into a venue, find a warm hiding spot, and stake out there until it's main event time? Yeah, perhaps it is, but you know what? Being on time is more important than anything else. I remember actually, a few years back, I was about 5 hours early to my buddy Carl's burial. Yes, that was a good one because I got there and I realized they hadn't even dug the grave yet. I was like, these lazy bastards. So I went to the trunk of my car, grabbed my shovel, and I dug Carl's grave myself to show him how good of a friend I was. Thank God I got there early, right? Yes. Turns out that wasn't Carl's grave, actually. It was a couple plots over. I was in the wrong spot. I desecrated a couple of other graves digging that trench in the middle of the graveyard, but it's the thought that counts, right? I was there early for my pal Carl. So, but yeah, start showing up to things early. Early is on time, and on time is late. And you are a dumb whore. Alrighty, moving right along. Next up we have Felicia, age 27, from the state of Delaware. She writes to me, "Dear Uncle Fran, I am facing a crazy dilemma with my sister. She's just given birth to her first child, a daughter, and that baby is ugly as dirt. How do I pretend to her that it is a cute child without hurting her feelings or making it obvious?" Signed, Felicia. The ugly baby dilemma. Yes, what a classic. What do you do when someone shoves photos in your face of a baby that is unappealing to look at? My go-to move usually is to shower the baby with compliments that subtly point out its flaws, but in a fun way. Let me give you an example. You might see a baby and you'll say, "Oh, look at that little undercooked chicken. Imagine if the doctors left it in your uterus for the proper amount of time." See what I mean? We're keeping it light. We're pointing out that the baby looks underdeveloped, but we're not saying it directly. What's another example of that? Oh, I know. Okay. I actually used this one a couple of weeks ago. They show you the baby and you say, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize Roberto wasn't the father. When are we going to meet this orc that you've fallen in love with?" See what I mean? Very light, very subtle. I don't know if you caught it in there, but I insinuated that her baby was born of an orc because it was ugly. Right. Okay, there's got to be one more. Oh, yes, here we go. One final example. "Damn it, Jenny, I thought you were sober. You can't look at this child and tell me it's not a product of heavy drinking." See, that's a really good one because it points at a flaw with the mother and distracts from the hideous baby. So, feel free to use any of those, Felicia. They're all up for grabs. Or come up with your own. It's really easy to do. There's a lot of ugly babies out there. Good luck to you, young lady, and God bless. Alrighty, moving on to our last letter of the evening. We have from Ronaldo, age 27, from the great state of Kentucky. He writes, "Dear Uncle Fran, the time has finally come for me to meet my girlfriend's parents. It's been about 6 months and I feel I'm finally ready. We're having dinner this Wednesday afternoon, and I was wondering if you had any tips on how I should address them in a proper way. Signed, Ronaldo." Well, congratulations to you, sweet boy. You're finally making that great big leap to meeting the parents. 6 months is a crazy amount of time to have not met them already, but, you know, everyone's different. We live in a new world. But yes, so this dinner, let's talk about that. You need to assert your dominance immediately at this dinner. You can't let her flabby father talk down to you. You are a man, and you must prove it. They may have something prepared, perhaps some amuse-bouche, whatever the hell that is, but you bring in a fresh goose off the road. You slaughter it right there in their kitchen. You say, "Hi, my name is Ronaldo, and I'd like you to point me to your butcher's table, please and thank you. I'd like to prepare this bird for us to all enjoy together." And perhaps this will be off-putting to them, but you bring your own set of knives. Yes, you show them I am a man with many knives, and I'm not afraid to use them. You chop the goose's head off, and you give it to the mother as a sign of peace and welcome. You say, "Thank you for welcoming me into your home, and I'd love to dine with you, if you don't mind." Try and seduce the mother if you can. This often helps, yes. You tell the father, "You know, your wife is a very lovely woman," and then you look right at her and you say, "Very lovely woman." And that gets the ball rolling for some antics all throughout the evening. That'll be a fun time. Let's see, what else can you do? You should arm wrestle the father once dinner is done, but before dessert. That's very important. You do it between, because the ladies will go and they'll say, "Okay, we have some cupcakes to bring out for dessert." They'll be gone, and you look at him and you say, "Arm wrestle me, old man, for your daughter's hand in marriage." You arm wrestle him, and if you defeat him, you have claim to everything he owns. You could take his wife if you'd like. If he beats you, you must commit suicide to avoid shame. This is just the way it goes. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. Don't come empty-handed. Arm wrestle the father after dinner. Yeah, that should be everything, Ronaldo. I hope that helps you. You be sure to write me and let me know how that arm wrestle battle goes, if you can, if you're still alive, that is. But, alrighty. That's enough of the letters this week. Now let's move on to my favorite part of the show, a daily conversation with my good friend Bert. Alrighty, boys and girls, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. We have Bert with us again. How are you, Bert?
Yes, I'm good. How are you, Fran?
I'm doing swimmingly.
Wonderful to hear.
How have you been this past week? What have you been up to?
Oh, I went to the World Cup Championship.
You did?
Yes, it was wonderful.
Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. I love the game of football.
Yeah, soccer, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah. How did you get those tickets? Those were really hard to come by.
I scalped them.
You did?
Yeah, so I was wandering the streets, and there was a couple people that they were scalping the tickets. They said tickets for sale. And I said, "Oh."
So how much did you end up paying for your ticket?
$47.
$47,
Yes.
Bert. Oh my goodness. Well, you must have been real high up there somewhere in like the nosebleeds.
No,
watching.
actually I had pretty good seats. Yeah,
Really?
it was like 9 rows up from the goalposts.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I had a really good view.
Those are immaculate seats, Bert.
Right.
Wow.
$47.
It's a crazy deal.
Yes,
They must have really needed that money.
exactly. Well, here's the thing. So when I took the tickets, I just wandering on my way, and then I see out of the corner of my eye, they're like sprinting at me.
Oh.
And I was like, what? What? I don't know if I did anything wrong, but apparently I did. Come to find out, they were not for sale.
Oh, then where'd you get $47 from? Where did that number come from?
Well, apparently there was a couple zeros after it.
Oh, that makes way more sense. So you robbed these tickets. You stole them.
No,
off these
because
people.
they gave them to me, and I said, "Here's the money," and they said, "Okay," and then I started walking away, and they're like, "Hey."
Okay, yeah, that was your fault then. You stole those tickets.
Not the way I see it.
But, I mean, you got great seats, and you're here now, so
Right.
obviously everything worked out.
Right, it was a wonderful game.
Yes, it was.
I won some money.
You did?
Yes, I
Really?
bet on Kelsey, and I wanted Spain to win.
Nice. You made a better decision than I did. I put money on Argentina. I really thought Lionel Messi was going to pull through, but apparently not.
What a stupid mistake.
Yeah, really. I guess, yeah.
The game was really boring. There was not a lot of action going on. It was even, 90 minutes?
Yeah, well, that's almost impressive, isn't it? You get to admire their skill and...
No, I just see these fairies falling down.
Okay.
Okay, one touch, they barely push them, and they are on life alert.
There's no appreciation for the sport. That's ridiculous, Bert. It's an
doesn't
art, almost. It's a dance.
Doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, there was one guy who actually got hit in the face with a soccer ball.
Yes, that was brutal.
That was pretty painful looking.
Yeah.
So, but other than him, they're all a bunch of pansies.
Yeah, they do flop a little bit. That's true, Bert.
Yes. But then Spain came through and they scored the first goal, which was immaculate to see.
Right.
And then Argentina almost scored.
Oh, I know. Oh my God, Bert. I was on the edge of my seat when that happened. I was biting all 4 sets of nails.
Yeah. Yeah, so then, but the key word on that is almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Right. You don't have to rub it in, Bert. Game was a week ago.
Almost. Until something happened.
Yeah, you missed.
Yes, he did. Yes, he missed that goal.
What is this face that's happening right now? This mischievous grin.
So, the game was boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I had a little money on Spain.
Right.
I just so happened to also bring a laser pointer to the game, yeah.
A laser? They let you in with a laser pointer?
Well, it was just, you know, I was just like, oh, this is my flashlight. And they're like, oh, okay.
Why would you even... Okay. Lack security in New Jersey.
Simeone, he had that wide open shot. Wide open. Click.
You're kidding me, Bert.
So you could tell, like, he was about to kick it, and then it went up.
So that was you? You flashed a laser pointer in his eye and caused him to miss the goal.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say cause him to miss, but I
Really?
might have affected it.
I would say affected tremendously. Yes, he had red laser in his eye. You probably burned his retina. Bert, you cost me 50 grand.
50 grand?
50 grand. That's how I planned on making my buck for the year.
Well, that was a stupid decision.
It was actually a pretty intelligent decision until you blinded the goal scorer. That was all set to work out. Lionel Messi would have gotten the last goal. Big celebration, big send-off. He's probably retiring. I don't know, actually, if that's true. But either way, I was all set up to make my buck for the year, and you screwed me over, as you often do.
It was just a laser pointer. It shouldn't affect someone that much, right? Yeah. It's just, you know, up, down, maybe catches the eye. Throughout the game, I was testing it. I was just, like, showing it in, like, different fans' eyes, and
Right, so that reaction tells you maybe they saw it, maybe it affected them, maybe it burned a little.
Yeah, but they're right next to me. So I just went up like, excuse me, does this work?
So you're just going around blinding fans?
Yeah.
What a weird thing to do at a game. You're so strange, Bert.
Well, I was just testing it out. I got a new toy, and I wanted to see. And so as I was scanning, I was just going around, and it just so happened that it caught Simeone's eye as he was shooting that wide open goal. Everybody was like, oh, and like you see the Spain section. I was in the Spain section. They're like, ole, 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 ole. And we're all good because it was like, oh, okay. Everybody's high-fiving me. They're like, Bert, you did it.
So they knew too. They saw the laser pointer.
Yeah, but I don't kiss and tell, Nobody else did. I met a bunch of new friends and, we all helped Spain to the victory.
Whatever, Bert. Whatever.
I deny it.
Bert, the other thing too about this, right? You realize throughout this episode you've admitted to at least 3 or 4 crimes. Yes. Yes, you did.
I did not.
You did, actually. And we have it all on tape right here to show the world. No, Bert, that's expensive!